Principles of designing a logo. First off, you want to start with a sketch. If you draw, pretty much the most free version of creativity you can have, so just try to sketch a base you want before you scan it in and edit it up and adjust it to perfection on an image editing software. So definitely start with a sketch. An important consideration is to create balance in your logo. People looking at it it'll be a lot more effective if there's balance, such as you can see with this MasterCard logo very well. So it's an important consideration to make, very important for aesthetic value. Whoops. Another important consideration is the size of your logo, making sure that it's possible that you can scale it up and down. Your logo needs to look good, not just on your screen where you're designing it, but also if you had to put it on a big poster or small on a letter, you need to make sure it still looks good, big or small, and it can retain its legibility at any size. Also, it's a good idea to try making it small first, or try making sure it looks good small, because if you can do that, it'll probably look good big. Small is usually the hardest thing to get because you have to make sure that it's not too detailed and it still looks good small. And it also looks good normal, of course. Colors. When you're choosing your colors for your logo, if you want to use more than one colors, try using colors that are next to each other on the wheel, such as yellow and orange, or green and blue, or red and orange, as you see there. Those tend to go together pretty well. Contrasts also work, but remember that the moods colors create and try to use them wisely, such as red for passion or heat, blue for calm, cool, professional. And I've even heard that yellow is a good color for kitchens and food because it makes people hungry. I'm not sure how well that works out, but you see it in the logo for McDonald's, so maybe there's something to it, who knows. Keep it simple. Try not to use too many colors or too many color details because this is a logo, so having too many colors isn't a good thing. You want it to be memorable and quickly recognized. And make sure it looks good as a design, not just as the color you chose. So experiment with setting it in different colors to see if it still looks good. Even on a grayscale, probably. Make sure the logo is appropriate for its application. So make sure it fits with what it stands for. The Toys R Us logo is really colorful and bubbly, and it looks really good for what it is. It's for a toy store. And that IBM logo looks great for what it stands for. But imagine if they were switched in styles and IBM was all colorful with nice little shapes and scribbly, sketchy looking lines, and Toys R Us looked boring and square like the IBM logo. Both would lose appeal for their application. Another important thing to consider is making sure you choose the right font. If you use the wrong font, you can create the wrong mood for your logo, but even if you have a font that fits and it's overused, like Comic Sans, it can have an undesired effect. You can come off amateurish, and sometimes that'll speak louder than your logo does. So make sure that your font isn't reminiscent of something else. Or another example is if you copy someone else's font that looks distinctive or something that people will recognize from somewhere else, it'll maybe remind them of that first before your product. And that's not what you want. You don't want people to see it and realize that you used the Disney font to make your logo and think of Disney and then think, oh, look, they copied the Disney logo or something like that. That probably won't work well for you. Custom fonts can be really effective and they can make an impression because they're unique, and also, if you think about it, nothing else like it has ever been seen before, so your logo can make its own impression. Some examples of logos that do this are Twitter and Yahoo, and Coca-Cola, of course. So the most important rule basically is to keep it simple. As long as it looks good, also keep it simple. A logo is a work of art in its own way, but you're not trying to create a masterpiece with deep complexity. You want something memorable, quick, and easy to recognize, in big or small, in as many contexts as possible. If you make something really complex be your logo, like the Mona Lisa or something, sure, it has artistic value, but that's like putting a physics equation as your logo. You might as well do that. No one's going to memorize that. You want your logo to be memorized effortlessly. You don't want people to have to sit there and pay attention and like look at every deep little detail. You want it to be subliminal, basically, in their heads. So, an example of a logo that's pretty simple but has lasted for quite a long time is Coca-Cola logo. And when you even see that font, even if it's not saying Coca-Cola, you can usually guess where it's coming from. Same with the Disney logo and several other logos like that. So, all in all, those are some good guidelines for creating your logo. Thanks.